Good afternoon. This is Ernie Afghanis welcoming you from the Autostad in Montreal, the scene of the 1969 Grey Cup game. In just 30 minutes, Ottawa and Saskatchewan meet in what is expected to be a classic, despite less than ideal conditions. And working with us at field level today, Tom McKee, who will be covering the Ottawa bench. It's very, very cold here in Montreal right now, 20 degrees. And Tom, foot gear is very important. What is the Ottawa club going to use?
Well, I've talked to many of the players, and almost without exception, they're going with the same boot that they wore in the last game of the Eastern Final against Toronto that brought them a great deal of success. This is the broom ball boot. It is a sponge rubber material. It has 19 indentations about each the size of a large thimble, and they have the effect of suction cups. And on this field where we have a combination of a hard surface, just like concrete, and it runs all the way from ice to mud, most of the players feel that this one will give them the best of all worlds. So this is the boot that Ottawa is going to go with.
All right, thank you, Tom. And Tom McKee will be covering the Ottawa bench, as we said, and we'll be hearing from him from time to time and immediately after the game from the Ottawa dressing room. Now to Don Whitman. Don, what has happened over in the Saskatchewan side that they decided to use the same foot gear?
Ernie, the Saskatchewan Roughriders had the broom ball shoes the other day, and they have been practicing with the broom ball shoes. However, I noticed in the pregame warm-up that some of these Saskatchewan players were wearing the regular type cleat, and some of the others were using a different type of rubberized footwear. Some of them are wearing one of each. They've been working out this way, and I think this is the most important aspect, what type of footwear the players will wear. They're trying to get a good grip, and some people feel that the Saskatchewan Roughriders, their offensive line may be handicapped somewhat on a slippery field if they can't get good footing, because, of course, that Saskatchewan Roughrider line must open the holes for that very strong running game. And Saskatchewan feels they must establish a running game to complement the passing. So I think you could see some players making adjustments as the game progresses. Right where we're standing, of course, the footing is quite good. But in various parts of the field, it is slippery. And as the wind blows and the temperature drops and it gets colder, we could have changes in footwear.
All right, Don, and we'll be hearing from you from time to time. Now let's go up to Don Chevrier.
Okay, Ernie, I'd like the fans across the country now to meet our two play analysts for the Grey Cup game today. First of all, from the West, Frank Rigney. Frank, the Saskatchewan Roughriders piled up a great record, and that includes a win over Ottawa, 38-21, in the league schedule.
Yes, Russ Jackson made a comment earlier this week that it was the finest game that he's played in, finest defensive ball club he's played against all year. A very big rush on him during that football game, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are going to need to do that again today.
Bernie Filoni, our play analyst in the Eastern Conference. And Bernie, there's no doubt this is a big day for Russ Jackson alone, let alone the Ottawa club.
That's right, Don. Russ Jackson, the most valuable player in Canada. It is a big day for him. He's retiring after this ball game. And I'm sure he's going to be trying every possible chance to score to win this game against Saskatchewan.
Thanks, Bertie. Frank, back now to Ernie Afghan.
Another man familiar to football fans all across the country, Johnny Esau. And John, you're no Westerner. You don't look like you're even feeling the cold out here today.
Beautiful, balmy afternoon, early in the day. It's a little chilly, and once they get out there and they at first pop, the players forget about the cold, and the fans in the stands start wondering what it's really like.
You know, I'm surprised, though, that the field has turned out as good as it has. Yesterday, when we watched it, we looked at it, it was icy and wet, but they've done a marvelous job. It's surprising.
Yes, they have, and this has been very confusing to the players because, you know, they on certain parts of the field, certain shoes would work, and other parts of the field it wouldn't work. And I think they're really in a quandary, and I think during the game they're going to change more, and probably Don and the boys upstairs will talk more about the change in shoes today than anything else.
Have you ever seen a Grey Cup game under this type of condition where it's cold, bright, but then everything is expected to come a little bit later in the game? There could be a heavy snowfall coming.
Well, the weatherman must have got a good pair of seats because he's You've got that sun out there, and I don't know if the temperature's going up, but you feel a lot warmer, and I think that's going to give us the right atmosphere.
All right, thank you very much, Johnny Eastock. Harry Ross, who will be the referee-in-chief, of course, will be taking care of this game, and now they're ready for the ceremonies that always come before game time for the team captains, and we'll get this going immediately. Here's Harry Ross. Harry?
It's your choice, Mr. Lancaster, sir. Will you change 40 your pocket? Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck. Good luck.
Now, of course, we always have some activity, and right now the Eastern Band is out there, the Chatelaines from Laval, and they're an excellent group, and they'll be performing all the way through. We have several bands, a total of about 500 bandsmen, I would say. The Chatelaines from Laval and the Ottawa Majorettes have been performing. And as we pointed out earlier, there are bands from all across Canada. The Regina, Majorettes, of course, their drum and bugle corps, Saskatchewan band itself, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. They're getting ready now, of course, for the player introductions and another official ceremony with the officials. At the moment, there are about 15,000 here at the Stade, and a crowd of over 30,000 is expected. The Chatelaines are now coming from the east side of the field and marching down the hash line. These young ladies and men, of course, are performing in not ideal conditions, although the sun has come out, and it's just a little bit warmer than it was an hour or so ago. It was 20 degrees at that time. Don Whitman has just joined me. Don, they're going to have an awful lot of trouble getting the 30,000 people here on time for the game.
Ernie, I think most people are delaying things right until the very last moment. As you pointed out, it is extremely cool down here at ground level. In fact, it's cold. And some of these young cheerleaders and majorettes, I don't know how they're managing to survive. They're, of course, wearing the tights, and they're out there, and those legs must be really cold.
The Chatelaines from Laval, Quebec. Players were out on the field a little while ago. Of course, they're back in now into the stadium getting warmed up and checking their shoes. As you pointed out earlier, they're going to be using a multitude of shoes, and I would imagine that there will be some changes made as we go on through the game. Every football celebrity is here, of course, and during the pre-game ceremonies and during the, what was going on through the week, Sam Echeverry, Normie Kwong, people like that were added to the Hall of Fame, and every football celebrity in the country is here today.
Ernie, that's quite correct. And just further to what you said about the footwear, I was talking to Ron Lancaster, the Saskatchewan quarterback, just before the coin tossing, and Lancaster said if it wasn't for the wind and the fact that in various parts of the field it is slippery, it wouldn't be a bad day for a football game. In fact, it would be almost ideal.
The sun, of course, trying to break through again in some clouds at the west side of the stadium. And it is slowly filling up. I would say the crowd now has reached about the 20,000 mark, the biggest crowd they've had here all season, and it should be over 30,000. The record is just a little over 39,000 for a Grey Cup game. That was in Vancouver. We had a little over 33 in Ottawa last year when the Riders, 2 years ago, actually. In just 18 minutes, it'll be kickoff time.
The supervisor of officials in the Western Conference, Andy Curry of Winnipeg, and the supervisor of officials in the East, Hap Schuldeis of Ottawa. And they've directed the officials on the field and had their last-minute chats with them. And Andy, I think this is your swan song as well, isn't it?
Yes, this is the last official game that I'll be working with.
Any special rules that we should be particularly aware of today, considering the wind and perhaps the cold?
No, I don't think so. The officials will play this according to the rules in the book, according to the situation.
Now let's talk to the man who's in charge of this ball game, the head referee, Harry Ross. Harry? Harry, would you like to introduce your officiating staff?
Yes, my line umpire, mon juge de ligne, Cass Vidrick, Winnipeg. My back umpire, mon juge de champ barrière, Jim King, West Rome, Quebec. My head linesman, mon juge de ligne en chef, Bill Fry, Toronto. My field judge, mon juge sur le terrain, Tom Cheney, Calgary. Our standby, notre substitut, Don Barker, Vancouver.
Harry Ross, the referee, and his officiating staff for this afternoon's Grey Cup game between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Ottawa Roughriders. Harry and fellows, I hope things go well this afternoon without too many difficult calls. And, of course, as we near kickoff time, the crowd begins to assemble, and it always assembles as well down on the playing field. And, of course, the very colorful ceremonies that are taking place. And, Ernie, this particular lot, and a rather delightful one, when you look at some of the young ladies wandering around, falls to you. And you had the fortune of doing that Grey Cup parade yesterday, too. It was an excellent parade.
Well, thank you very much, Don. And I tell you, we're waiting for this Grey Cup. We've had just a little bit of a delay. She is entering at the far side, and Tom McKee has been assigned to get her to us, and I'm sure he will. It's just a matter of time, though. On the far side, you can see quite a few of the people who will be participating here during the pregame show, and, of course, at halftime. 438 bandsmen, young majorettes, riderettes, and incidentally, the riderettes are all decked out in green and white. These young ladies who traveled by bus for 40 hours all the way from Regina to Montreal to be here to root on the Saskatchewan club, and they look a little cool there right now, Don.
Ernie, they certainly do, and that's a long bus trip to come to Montreal from Regina. And, of course, they also have that long track home as soon as this game concludes. This Grey Cup is also from Saskatchewan for 1969. Perhaps that's an omen as far as the Roughriders are concerned. If you can ever stop chattering and shivering, Ernie, perhaps we will get around to Miss Grey Cup. And I think she is just about due to come onto the playing field here at the Montreal Autostat, isn't she?
Well, we hope so. There seems to be just a little bit of a delay down there. Here comes Tom McKee now. And he's doing the 100-yard dash. He's in pretty good shape. Tom, come on in here. What has happened, Tom?
Just run of the day so far. Well, we just had a slight cross-up of instructions there or communication. Laura Medlin went down to pick up the car. The car had already left. They thought they were going to pick her up at the 25-yard line.
All right. Laura Medlin. Tom, well, we always have these problems when there are so many things to do. The young ladies are in demand. And, of course, the Prime Minister is here, and things are just being delayed, but those are usual in pregame shows. There isn't really too much that can be done about it. Sort of ride with the punch, I would say, Don.
I think so, Ernie. I see that Commissioner Godard is now just coming out from the official reception, which he was in attendance with the Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and you will also have an opportunity later to chat with the Prime Minister. He, of course, quite a sports fan and most interested in this Grey Cup game. And I see, Ernie, that Laura Medlin is now moving in, and she's going to be out of the official car. And in just a moment, you'll have the opportunity to chat with her. And a very pretty young lady she is. And
certainly is.
Our congratulations go out to her as well.
Tom looks very happy, too. Tom, could you bring her in?
I'm very happy. We finally met at last. This is Ernie S. again.
How are you, Laura? We've never met before. Laura Medland, who is Miss Grey Cup from Saskatchewan, of course, born and raised in Regina.
Yes.
This is your first Grey Cup?
Yes, it is. I'm thrilled.
I read some of the stories about. They said that you cried. You were in the clouds there for a while. These are not true. You're still quite happy and having a lot of fun.
Yes, I am, and I'm very pleased to be driving in my brand new car.
This is it. Oh, are they going to drive it for you back home, ship it home, or what have you?
I think it may be shipped. I'm not sure.
Well, Laura, you're a lovely young lady. You've had a lot of fun, and I'm sure that you're going to enjoy the game, and there are several festivities that you will attend following this contest.
Yes.
It's going to be a very busy year for you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy.
Laura Medlin, this is Grey Cup, and of course she is the Saskatchewan Roughrider. She's had a tremendous season. Thank you very much. Now let's go to Don Chevrier.
All right, Ernie. A cold day, but a perfect matchup. The Saskatchewan Roughriders, champions of the West, and the Ottawa Roughriders, the champions of the East, possessing two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the Canadian Football League. Russ Jackson, of course, playing his final game for the Ottawa club. Ronnie Lancaster, a former teammate of Jackson's, quarterbacking the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A perfect matchup, no question. These are the two outstanding teams in the Canadian Football League this year. The teams that really have the right to be here at the Autostad in Montreal on Grey Cup Day 1969. While the game is being played in the East this year, the Saskatchewan Roughriders are the home team. The Ottawa Roughriders are the visitors, and Saskatchewan is using the home quarters of the host club for the Grey Cup, the Montreal Alouettes. So the Ottawa club is going to be introduced to the crowd here at the Autostad first. Roughriders will bring out their defensive lineup. The title being formed for the Ottawa club, the Ottawa Roughrider Majorettes, and the Saskatchewan cheerleaders down from the west will provide a similar entrance for their team as well in just a moment or two, and they get the player introduction underway. Some concern yesterday about the snow that fell last night. It was light, wet snow that didn't cause any problem in terms of field conditions. You can see that field is very hard, very frozen, under 22 degrees temperature here in Montreal. And the first Ottawa defensive player is the left end, number 65, the top lineman in the East, Billy Joe Booth. Number 53, left tackle, Marshall Shirk. The right tackle is number 52, Jim Cade. Here's Ed Joyner, the right defensive end, number 63. One of three outstanding Ottawa linebackers on the left side, number 54, former Calgary Stampeder Jerry Campbell. A middle linebacker, last year's top lineman, number 41, Ken Lehman. A man who played two ways again today, no doubt. On the right side, defensively, halfback offensively, Wayne Giardino. Number 14, Ottawa's placement specialist, defensive halfback, Don Sutherland. Number 15, defensive back, backup quarterback, Billy Van Berkeley, also the Ottawa punter. The safety man, number 22, the veteran Gene Gaines. Right defensive halfback, number 20, Barry Ardern. And a veteran in the deep five of the Roughriders, number 17, Joe Poirier. That's the starting defensive set for the Eastern champion Ottawa Roughriders, and here come the others out behind them. Forgotten in Ottawa's explosive scoring spree this year is the fact that the Eastern champs possess an outstanding defensive club as well. That club you've just seen come out. Now we're just about set to meet the Saskatchewan Roughriders starting offense. The right end is number 76, Lance Fletcher. He's playing in place of Jim Wharton, who's not starting in this game, but could be used later on. Right tackle, number 67. A big fella, 280 pounds, Clyde Bryant. The right guard is number 54, Gary Brandt. The center, who came out of retirement to return this year, number 43, Ted Ernest. The left guard is 53, Jack Avenshad. He'll handle field goals and converts as well. The left tackle, number 66, is Ralph Galloway. Number 21, a versatile ball player, Alan Poole. He'll play the left hand and also handle punting. Rookie back, number 26, the exciting Bobby Thompson. Young Canadian playing left half, number 19, Steve Wilner. The West's outstanding player this year, number 34, the fullback, George Reed. We'll see a lot of him today. The flanker, number 31, Huey Campbell. And the Saskatchewan quarterback, the man who makes the offense go, 23, Ronnie Lancaster. That's the starting offensive lineup for Saskatchewan.
Back on the field at the Autostad. Tremendous amount of activity at field level. Fans from across the country, the Ottawa Majorettes, the Riderettes from Saskatchewan, the dignitaries, which include the Prime Minister of Canada, are to enter from the east side of the Autostad, and they should be on at any moment now. I've noticed that they have covered the sidelines here just off the field with a type of peat moss and dirt to absorb the moisture. Don and Tom McGee are with me, and I think that this is going to really be a great help because this was solid ice just a little while ago.
Ernie, this morning they were out putting salt compound on the ice to help melt it, and I think they have. And now with the peat moss, this is absorbing much of the moisture on the sidelines. It is a little sloppy, a little muddy. Much better for those who might be knocked out of bounds to land on this than on the chunk of ice that we're laying there. Ernie, I think your official party is now moving into view.
Prime Minister Trudeau with Mr. Jake Gadar, the president, the commissioner of the CFL, Lou Heyman, of course, involved in the official party, and he is the president of the CFL, Mr. Prime Minister Trudeau and Jake Gadar. A great pleasure to meet you, sir. And yes, I have. And I would like you to meet my confrère from the French network, Guy Ferron. Mr. Prime Minister, we're going to ask you one question. We know that you're a very keen sports fan, and we're wondering if sport has lived up to your expectations as a unifying force in our country.
Oh, yes, and I think we have evidence of that in the past several days in Montreal. It's been the greatest thing that happened to this city since Expo, I guess. People from all over the country, from other countries, and the spirit in the streets, and the hotels, and the restaurants, just full of a great feel for Canada, and I think that's one of the greatest things about the Grey Cup game.
I'm sorry we couldn't get a warmer day for you.
No, this is perfect for Montreal, you know. We're used to this all the time.
Guy, Monsieur le Premier ministre, vous êtes Montréalais, vous habitez Ottawa. Alors, justement, Ottawa est directement impliqué dans ce match, et ce match a lieu à Montréal. Par contre, vous êtes Premier ministre du Canada. Alors, est-ce que l'on peut savoir où iront vos préférences aujourd'hui?
Mon cœur est vraiment déchiré. Je suis avec la reine de la Coupe Grey, qui est de la Saskatchewan. Par ailleurs, Ross Jackson d'Ottawa est un joueur sensationnel. C'est sa dernière partie. Je pense que la compétition sera extraordinaire. Je pense que Mr. Cup d'une part et Ross Jackson de l'autre me font balancer jusqu'à la fin.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur Trudeau.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister, and enjoy the game. Thank you. Now let's go to the top and Don Chevrier.
The official party will now proceed to center field for the ceremonial kickoff. And of course, the Prime Minister will be the man handling the ceremonial kickoff, as he did last year in 1968 at the C&E Stadium in Toronto. We look forward to it very much on that occasion, and I'm sure he's just as anxious today to take part in the setting up of the formal kickoff for the Grey Cup 1969. Let's hope this time that the photographers give the Prime Minister sufficient clearance to get a kick away. You know, last year he hit it very low, Jake Gadar said, and got it off very well. But the photographers were a little too close and blocked it. They'll try to clear them now. And he's got those low cuts on, the proper kicking shoes. Handle the job. The kick is coming from the 55. The kickoff to start the game, of course, will come from the 45-yard line. Taking plenty of time to get ready. Now, the commissioner helps with the placement of the ball, and it's very windy, 15 to 30 miles an hour. That wind will come into play, no doubt, in the game this afternoon. They're making sure it's squared away just right. There's Rappo. Squared away. That kick. Well, the Prime Minister of Canada has just tied the ceremonial kickoff record, which was set originally by the Governor General in 1948, Lord Alexander. 27 yards. There's the announcement and the reaction from the crowd. He's happy about that. We'll get a chance to look at the ceremonial kickoff by Prime Minister Trudeau again. Yes, good follow through, hit it real low and got the ball up. And I think the official statistician here has given him the extra yard, 28. So we have a new record on our hands this afternoon. The Prime Minister will present the ball to John Drapeau, the Mayor of Montreal, and the man who persuaded the Canadian Football League to bring Grey Cup 1969 to his city. The Prime Minister with this Grey Cup, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Jake Goddard. We're just about set for the task at hand, the choosing of a new champion in the Canadian Football League for the season 1969. The Ottawa Roughriders, as Saskatchewan won the toss of the coin, will receive. Saskatchewan is going to kick off because they have a favoring wind of 15 to 30 miles an hour, slightly cross field, but it is at their backs for this first quarter. The thinking there is to pin Ottawa deep and get good field position for their first series of offensive play. Jack Avanchan, 53, has the ball in the tee at the 45-yard line. The game will be underway as soon as the bands and majorettes make their way to the sidelines. Number 23 is Billy Cooper. Number 20 is Barry Ardern, the deep kickoff return man for the Ottawa club. And as mentioned by Ernie Affiganis and Tom McKee, those broom ball shoes very much in play here on both sides on this frozen turf this afternoon. The teams have met twice before. Saskatchewan winning at home 38-21 in the regular league season, and Ottawa winning a preseason game 39-8 at Lansdowne Park. So you might say this is the rubber match between the two, and certainly the big match. They've also won a Grey Cup each in meetings between the two of them. The last win was in 1966 for Saskatchewan at Empire Stadium in Vancouver. We are just about set to go now. Referee is Terry Ross. The Grey Cup game is underway. Billy Cooper at the 10. And the kicker, Avanchan, brought him down. Cooper returned the ball 28 yards. And from the 37-yard line of the Ottawa Roughriders, the first offensive play, first and 10. Number 12, playing his final game, is Russ Jackson at quarterback. Number 26 is Whit Tucker coming out of that huddle now. 11 is Stewart. 16 is Mankin. 21 is Wayne Giardino. Jim Mankins may have a first down near the 47-yard line. Henry Dorsch, 16, Wally Dempsey, 77, combining to drop him right there. And they're going to measure. The gain exactly 10. First down, Ottawa. Jackson trying to keep those hands warm on this bitterly cold afternoon. 73 is Margene Atkins, the back of the huddle. He's the split end, and 76 is the tight end, Jay Roberts. Tucker comes wide right. First down. Ronnie Stewart has 4 yards at the 51. Larry DeGraw, 15, chasing him out of bounds. No score early in the first quarter of the Grey Cup game. At the 54, Mankins has 3 yards, but he will be 3 short of the first down. Number 60, Don Banuk with a Saskatchewan tackle. And back goes 15 DeGraw and 24 Constant to receive the expected third down punt from Bill Van Berkeley. DeGraw and Constant between the 15 and the 20 of Saskatchewan. And Berkeley will kick into the wind. DeGraw bounced off Roger Perdrix and was tackled by Bainan at the 29-yard line, from where the Saskatchewan Roughriders will initiate their first series of downs in this scoreless game. The punt into the wind was 35 yards, and DeGraw returned it 8. Just over 2 minutes gone. George Reed. Galloway opened the hole for him across the 35, and at the 37-yard line, Reed has a gain of 8. Gene Gaines, number 22, was the Eastern tackler. What Saskatchewan likes to do is establish a running game with George Reed to set up the rest of their offense. They'll go to him early. Now Henry Dorsch comes into the game. Number 16. Bobby Thompson comes up. Behind the lead blocking of Henry Dorsch, Reed is near the 40-yard line. Giardino, 21, and Joyner, 63, the Ottawa tackler. Saskatchewan first down. Number 19 is Steve Molnar. 34 is Reed. 31 Campbell going wide right. Bobby Thompson could not hang on at the Ottawa 25-yard line. Bernie, it looked as though the ball caught him slightly by surprise.
The ball was thrown to his right on this. You'll have to watch Thompson have to turn around for that ball, and it just hit him right on the fingertips. The ball actually was thrown a little bit to his right, but it was a great surprise after first down.
Lancaster threw it 46 yards. It is 2nd and 10. Saskatchewan 40. Campbell goes right. Molnar left with 4:21. For Thompson again, incomplete. Gene Gaines defending for Ottawa, and it's 3rd down, 10 from the 40.
Don, it's bitterly cold out there, and it's hard for receivers to hang on to that football, to keep their hands warm and relax those fingers. And both quarterbacks have thrown the ball well so far, but it really is quite hard to catch the football.
20 is Ardern and 23 Cooper awaiting the punt at the Ottawa 25. Allen Ford's punt. Ardern at the 30. Slipped at the 32 to 33-yard line. Shaw sliding downfield to meet it. With 10:45 to play in the first quarter, the score is Saskatchewan nothing and Ottawa nothing. The Ottawa Roughriders getting set to scrimmage 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Archie Atkins, 73, breaks right, Stewart 11 left. Mankins and Giardino set behind Russ Jackson. And they're not quite ready yet. Now they go. Jay Roberts at the 40-yard line will have 7, maybe 8 yards. He was hit by number 50, Wayne Shaw. It's a gain of 8 at the 41, 2nd and 2. 24 is Costas, 27 is Dushinsky. The deep backs, DeGraw 15, and 16 is Henry Dort. Bruce Bennett, number 30, completes the deep defensive secondary for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. With Tucker, 26 left now. Adkins on the right side. Wayne Giardino slipped looking for that first down and has very short yardage. Contact with Ken Reed and lost his footing. Gain of only half a yard, and Ottawa is 3rd down, 1.5 yards to go. Jackson off the field, the punting team comes in.
We have a report on the footwear that the players are wearing. It has ranged from terrible to not very good and extremely slippery.
And Berkeley gets a good bounce back to the 25. Pass it across the 25 near the 27-yard line. A scoreless game, Saskatchewan getting set to scrimmage again, deep at their end of the field. That punt was 44 yards into the wind with the bounce. Ernest is the center. Brandt and Evanshan the guard. Galloway and Brock the tackle. Steve Molnar, met by Billy Joe Booth, near the 35-yard line.
Steve Molnar, young Canadian back, breaks up in there behind. Good blocking behind Jack Evanshan, 53, and Gary Brandt, 54.
Second and 3. Markers down. George Reed, the ball carrier, and there's the indication from the official offside against Saskatchewan. Loss of a yard back to the 32. So Ottawa has declined the penalty. Saskatchewan 3rd down and 4 will have to punt. 23 Cooper and 20 Ardern dropping back. Alan Ford, the punter. Ardern. Heading for the sidelines, was intercepted by Cliff Shaw and down short of the 45-yard line. The punt went 39 yards. Here's a look at this large crowd at the Autostad in Montreal, 33,000 strong. The ball is at the 44-yard line. Ottawa first down. They're 44. No score, 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first quarter. Atkins left, Tucker right. Big Ed McQuarters wrestling Jim Mankins down. The ball came free, but they indicate the play had been stopped by the whistle, and McQuarters rode him down. The gain will be 2 yards to the 46. Prime Minister with the CFL Commissioner, Jake Goddard. Everybody enjoys watching themselves on television, especially when caught by surprise. But Tucker could not hold the ball. He was open and waiting, Bernie, for that pass to arrive.
It was. He cut back. The defensive back slipped. And when he came back to the ball, Whittaker was slipping as going out of bounds there. He couldn't hang on to it.
And so it is 3rd down and 8 from the 46. 24 is Costas, 15 DeGraw. Frank?
Receivers have an advantage on this slippery field, but those defensive linemen are having a very difficult time establishing a charge, so Jackson's having a lot of time to throw that football.
That's a free ball. Saskatchewan in possession at the 30-yard line.
That's the first break of the ball game. There's the ball. It is a slippery thing today, and the punter just drops the ball. There's a scramble for the ball, and it's the first break for Saskatchewan on that advantage of taking the win.
Tried to throw it to Mankins, but the ball was ruled as a fumble, and Saskatchewan has the first break. The contact on Molnar, provided by Wayne Giardino, number 21. The gain is about 3.5. Ernie.
On the punt, that's the only very slippery spot on the field, and all the players, when they were checking it before game time, were worried about that particular spot.
Ford, touchdown! Saskatchewan turns the break into a scoring play. Lancaster to Ford. Cover 27 yards. Because of the footwear problem, the officials are allowing extra time for the kickers, especially like Abendstand, who change footwear. As you see, he has the one kicking shoe on for extra point attempt. Flag thrown. Convert is good, but let's see what the marker was.
There's that touchdown. There was quite a rush on Lancaster, number 23, but he finds Alan Ford, number 21, coming across the center, and Ford catches the ball in a dead run and outraces everybody to the end zone.
The convert will stand. The infraction was outside against the Ottawa Roughriders, so it's a 7-0 game. The West in the lead. About 5.5 minutes of play remaining in the first quarter. That signal now is the change to rough play, and the ball goes to the 50-yard line. That is where the kickoff will originate. yard earned. At the 13-yard line, losing his footing as he reached the 10. They got traveled 52 yards with that favoring wind. 7-0 Saskatchewan. Ottawa getting set to start deep at their end of the field at the 13-yard line as Frank Clare shows a little concern of the Ottawa bench about the early events of this game.
One of the interesting battles going on out there, Don, is this defensive backfield of Saskatchewan's intercepted the ball 31 times, but Russ Jackson has only had 12 interceptions all year long.
Ronnie Stewart. A marker was thrown. Stewart out at the 25-yard line and had enough yardage for the first down. The preliminary indication is flipping against the Ottawa Roughriders. Russ Jackson looking in there to make sure they had the first down before the infraction was called. And it is against Margene Atkins, number 73, for flipping. The ball comes back to the 6-yard line. The Roughriders will have a first down from there. He now has 17 yards to go. It is Smith, McQuarters, Banook, and Baker across the front wall, defensively for Saskatchewan. Jim Mankins inside for a couple. Porter, Shaw, and Dempsey met him in the area of the 8-yard line. The gain is 2. They are now 2nd and 15. Billy Cooper in now for Giardino. The pass for Tucker. McGraw covering.
Isolated replay, we see Whit Tucker, the Ottawa flanker, running an up pattern. Jackson gets a lot of time to throw that football. The last series of downs, Tucker was wide open, but that time very well covered by Larry DeGraw.
That little bump they made together about 10 yards before the ball arrived, the Ottawa bench was complaining about, but to no avail. Collision rule accidental on the way downfield. So 3rd down and 15, and the Riders will punt Van Berkeley in the end zone. And he's going to concede a 2-point safety touch. That'll make the score 9-0, Frank, and I guess give them some room in which to operate now.
Yes, and that shades of 1965, Don, when the Winnipeg Blue Bombers gave up 3 safety touches against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. I think we'll all recall that.
In fact, they went a long way back to the 25 on one occasion to get one. Or to give one up. 9-0 for the West is the score. About 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. First down from the 25. Henry Dorsch with a chance for the interception, defending against Margene Atkins. The pass incomplete.
Margene Atkins, the Ottawa receiver with all the moves, runs a breakout pattern here. Doesn't have too much trouble with the footing, but an excellent defensive play by the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
2nd and 10 now from the 25. Saskatchewan defense has done what Eagle Keys has asked of it in this first quarter, and that is hold Ottawa in their end of the field. Jackson for 7 yards at the 32. That's by Henry Dorsch. Leave the Eastern Riders 3 short of their first down objective. With 2:37 to play in the first quarter, the score is.
I don't know who that is, but he looks like the big chief from Ottawa. He's not even shivering. Young ladies from Ottawa, bundled up on a 20-degree day.
Pass it in to Gras at the 45 for Bill Van Berkelio's third down punt. That's a good kick into the win. DeGraw covering up finally after the two Saskatchewan players were uncertain as to who was to take the ball. Here's the replay.
There's the ball. They just actually knocked into each other, and the ball scoots out. And number 51, Perdrix, is the second one in. Watch him come in right on top of number 15, Larry DeGraw.
They lost 11 yards. That R you saw indicates the replay. You'll see that throughout the afternoon. Bobby Thompson at the 25-yard line. That is a 3-yard gain. Gaines and Shirk met him at the 25. 2nd and 7 to come. Campbell wide left is out of range now. Ford shifting left, number 21. For Campbell, no good. Trying to cut in behind Joe Poirier with Barry Ardern coming up in behind. Well, Ernie, it may seem like it, but this is not the coldest breakup, I suppose, ever played.
No, it's dropped to 19 degrees today, but in 1925, Ottawa played Winnipeg. In Ottawa, the temperature was 9 degrees. And then in 1941, 41, it was 58 degrees in Toronto, and Ottawa was involved in that game, too. So they're involved in the coldest and warmest days of breakup history.
Back to Cooper. Galloway has him near the 52-yard line and tempers flare.
John, you know, we're talking about the receivers having cold hands out there, but the punter must really feel like his feet are going to fall off when he kicks the ball, because cold feet and kicking that 13 pounds of air really hurt.
After that 35-yard punt, the Ottawa Roughriders wet the ball from their own 53-yard line, first down. Late in the first quarter, under a minute left. Ronnie Stewart for 7 yards at the Saskatchewan 50. Clock is moving down to 20 seconds. Ottawa's first penetration of Saskatchewan territory beyond midfield in the first quarter. Jackson almost hit, got it away, and then almost the interception. The pass intended for Jay Roberts, and Henry Dorsch again, nearly picking it off.
Saskatchewan Roughriders normally like to play a lot of man-to-man defense, Don. They're playing zone today.
At the end of the first quarter, the score is Saskatchewan 9 and Ottawa nothing. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter in a moment. The start of the second quarter only moments away. Saskatchewan in the lead by 9 points on a 27-yard Lancaster 4 touchdown strike and a 2-point safety touch given up by Ottawa punter Billy Van Berkelio. The total offense in the first quarter, 59 yards Saskatchewan, 41 for Ottawa. The Ottawa Riders, 38 yards rushing against 28 Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan outscoring Ottawa 31-18. Both quarterbacks are 2 for 5. DeGraw is out past the 10-yard line. Judy and Pullen met him there. They put the ball down at about the 12. At Wynn, while it is partially cross-field, will favor the Ottawa Roughriders in the second quarter, as it did Saskatchewan in the first. With the win, Van Bricklio's punt traveled 47 yards. Campbell, wide right. Ken Lehman has George Reed. After short yardage, it may be a couple at the 14.
George Reed, of course, has a career total of 8,986 yards, and he's third in the all-time list, behind Johnny Bright with 10,909 and Normie Kwong with 9,022. But Reed should surpass this in his career.
Second down, about 8 to go. Reed again. In the grasp of 63, Ed Joyner. He advanced the ball to the 16-yard line, leaving Saskatchewan 6 yards short of the first down. Egotees with a 9-0 lead going for him. Ford back near the goal line to punt. Barry Ardern. And Clipshaw, 51, rocks Ardern at the 46 of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and Ottawa will start first down from there after the 36-yard punt by Ford and the 6-yard return.
Well, as we mentioned a little earlier, the Saskatchewan Roughriders oftentimes play a man-to-man defense. One of the ways a good quarterback, a smart quarterback like Russ Jackson, will try to determine what they're playing is to send his people into motion and see if their backs follow them.
Jackson will go. He was hit by Henry Dorsch inside the 30-yard line.
Russ Jackson finds that opening and takes it. He's an opportunist when he finds that opening, and he can run with that football. Picks up a big gain here before he's brought down by Henry Dorsch, number 16. Gain of 18 yards.
First down from the 28. This is Ottawa's deepest penetration of the game. Jackson on the option goes to keep the ball and gets maybe a yard. Wayne Shaw, number 50, corralled him at the 28. It is no gain. Second and 10. Just over 3 minutes gone in quarter two. Saskatchewan leading Ottawa 9-0. Atkins wide right. Jim Mankins has the first down. Ken Reed, 58, with the tackle. The gain is 11 yards at the 17.
Jackson is spreading his receivers all over the field, and that strings up the defensive backfield, and it puts a linebacker on the remaining man in the backfield, and that allows Mankins to come up the center.
Jim Mankins, the ball carrier. Markers down on the far side of the field. Bill Baker, 65, made the tackle. The gain was 5 yards. Offside, Saskatchewan. Ottawa accepts the penalty, giving them first and 5 from the 12. Lipinski wide, covering Margie Atkins. Wayne Giardino's inside the 5, but Ottawa was offside. They're going to bring it back. With 10:25 to play in the second quarter, the score is Saskatchewan 9 and Ottawa nothing. Frank Blair in conversation with assistant coach Bob Ward. Jack Goto, of course, up in the Roughriders booth, relaying information down to them. It is first down and 10 now from the 17, the 5-yard offside penalty. Jackson gets by the quarter. And then is upended at the 11-yard line by Don Benoot, number 60. Picked him up running like a bag of groceries.
Boy, that has to hurt. You know, Don Benoot's a big boy, and of course Jackson's a big, tough quarterback, but when those linemen get rough, it hurts.
Lishaw now in for Wayne Shaw defensively for Saskatchewan. The ball is at the 11-yard line. Second down and 4. In the end zone. It is against Saskatchewan. The interference declined the Ottawa touchdown stand.
Jackson spread his receivers out, but Mangus in motion is a little throw pass to Jay Roberts. He catches the ball and goes in for the score.
It is 9-6, and Don Southern will endeavor to make it 9-7. It is a 9-7 game. The difference now being that safety touch given up by Van Berkeley in the first quarter in an effort to attain better field position for Ottawa. 9:18 to go until halftime.
It's very surprising, really, to look at the passing career averages of Russ Jackson and Ronnie Lancaster, because Jackson is 52.4, ranks 9th in the all-time list. Lancaster is 10th at an even 52%. The leading passer in the CFL of all time, Eagle Day, at 57.9.
Southern will handle the Ottawa kickoff. Ford at the 5. One man to beat. Don Southern. Southern forces him out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
This is a type of football that can really break a team's back. Don, you know, after a kickoff, after a touchdown, they're kicking off, almost fumbling the ball, and behind good blocking, breaks out, almost breaks it all the way, except for the safety man who does his job, Don Southern, number 14. A kickoff of 63 yards, return 79 yards.
He has that slippery field to contend with, Don Southern. And mostly fatigued once he got down to the 30. That's where they marked the ball. Saskatchewan first down from there. Campbell could not quite make the catch with a supreme effort at the goal line. Southern was defending.
Here's a fellow they call Mr. Moves. Hugh Campbell, number 31, and what a great effort as he goes up for that ball at the 2-yard line, but Don Sutherland knocks it down.
Second down at 10 from the 30. Steve Molnar gets 8, but is too shy of the first down at the 22-yard line, tackled by Barry Arbor. Hamilton's Angelo Mosca, one of the spectators at the Grey Cup, 1969. Bobby Thompson comes out. Henry Dorr, 16, is in. They're going 3rd and 2. Reed has the first down or is very close to it. Let's see where they spot the ball. Just inside the 20-yard line. It's Joyner, 63, stopped it. Referee Harry Ross indicates Saskatchewan. First down.
Certainly going to give the armchair quarterback something to talk about this ball game. After Coach Frank Clare gives up a safety in the first quarter, Saskatchewan gambles on 3rd down and 3 yards with 7 minutes left in this first half.
First down from the 19. Reed. In a wrestling match with Campbell, the ball came free. Sutherland lost it at the 30-yard line. They finally whistle it down. Gaines got it back. And the ball goes over to the Ottawa Roughriders. That play indicates just how hard it is to control that ball with cold hands in a frozen field. Sutherland recovering the fumble, then losing it himself. Gaines just getting it back for Ottawa as they come out from the 30 first down. Jackson overthrew Jay Roberts at the Saskatchewan 50-yard line. Jackson for a while had room to run. Clipshot dropped back and then saw the opening and decided to force Jackson to throw by moving in his direction. 6 minutes and 39 seconds remain until halftime. And of course, as you know, from past Grey Cup, the Grey Cup halftime show is spectacular. Second and 10. Ronnie Stewart. Ronnie Stewart at the field. Ottawa touchdown. An 80-yard scoring play.
By Russ Jackson, a screen pass on a full blitz to Ronnie Stewart, number 11. And two key blocks on the play are number 42, Gary Sellinger, and Jay Roberts, number 76. Coast Guard's out, and Stewart is on his way.
The East takes the lead, 13-9, and Don Sutherland's convert is coming up. As you can plainly see, Sutherland is good on the extra point attempt. And it is now the Ottawa Roughriders 14 and the Saskatchewan Roughriders 9. 6-12 until halftime. Amazing, Frank, how a defensive fumble recovery, 2 plays, can change the trend of the game right around.
Well, they certainly changed the complexion with that one. And as you mentioned, Don, the football is extremely difficult to hold on to. And once the momentum of a player gets him going in one direction, it's very difficult for him to change. George Reed, of course, was the fellow that fumbled that ball. It was only because of his great second effort and 3 or 4 Ottawa tacklers dragging him to the ground.
Bobby Thompson and Alan Ford await the kickoff from Don Southern. They are giving Southern plenty of clearance back at the Saskatchewan goal line. Short kick. To Thompson at the 10. And he was tripped by Jerry Campbell as he got to the 25-yard line. Campbell was down and out of the play and just lunged with those feet and caught Thompson going by. The return is 19 yards. Saskatchewan will start out. First down from the 27. Campbell looks to be favoring that left ankle, the one that made contact with Thompson blowing through. Campbell is wide right. George Reed for a couple near the 30-yard line. Then Henry Dorsey in to provide that near blocking for George Reed on those plays. Now the Ottawa defense broke the blocking down, held them. Let's make it a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8. Interference is called. The receiver, Lance Fletcher, the defensive player, Gene Gaines, committed the infraction. And that will provide Saskatchewan with a first down.
There's the interference call right there on Gene Gaines. Really, he interfered with Lance Fletcher before the ball was to him.
Well, they advance at 13 yards with the penalty and have a first down. Reed is hit by Lehman. Gain of a yard, 2nd and 9 to come. Lancaster holds Reed back. And Steve Molnar couldn't hang on. Gaines there defending. Lancaster had all kinds of time to throw, but those receivers, except for Molnar at the last, just weren't open to him.
He had to run around back there. Was getting some good blocking by his lineman, and Ronnie looked a little dejected on that one. He wanted that play. He needed it very badly with 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go before the half, and he wanted to move that ball down the field.
They're 3rd and 9 from the 43, and Ford is getting set to kick. Ardern through a small opening to the 39-yard line. Rankin and Ernest on the tackle. 34 yards the length of the kick, and the return was 6 yards. Just over 4 minutes until Greycup halftime. It is 14-9 for the Ottawa Roughriders on the explosive 80-yard run for a touchdown by Ronnie Stewart. Bennett caught a piece of him near the 40. His re-entry came at the 37, and it's a long first down play.
Let's take a look at Wally Dempsey, number 77, the big middle linebacker of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Quick Tucker gets behind him for that reception and puts the ball down to the 37-yard line. Excellent field position for the Ottawa Roughriders.
The gain was 35 yards. Jim Mencken. A Close to a first down at the 26. That's by the Shinsky and Shaw, Wayne Shaw. There is the indication of the Ottawa first down. With 2:51 to play in the second quarter, the score is Ottawa 14 and Saskatchewan 9. Now the Ottawa Roughriders first down at the Saskatchewan 26. That is a free ball, and Saskatchewan has it. The ruling, a completed pass and a fumble by Jim Mankin. And Wally Dempsey, number 77, made the recovery.
There's the pass, and it is a completion. He's hit very hard. The ball just springs out, and it is a fumble. Touchdown and a fumble. Recovered by Saskatchewan.
Ed Dushinsky with real good contact on Mankin forced that ball free. Dempsey with the recovery at the 15-yard line. It is first down, Saskatchewan. You recall a similar play at the other end prevented a Saskatchewan scoring march and led to Stewart's long touchdown. Campbell with a good catch at the 38-yard line against Gene Gaines. That's an advance of 23 yards.
Now, with only one or two exceptions, the Ottawa Roughriders have been able to put pretty good pressure on Ron Lancaster, so he's rolling out now, and he's getting a little more time to throw that football.
Campbell broke a first tackle from Southern and advanced the ball beyond midfield to the 54-yard line. Ken Lehman, number 41, finally stopped him.
This is what's called a hit pattern. Don Southern 14 was playing Campbell very loose, so Lancaster hit him right on the line of scrimmage. Gets away from Don Southern and Joe Poirier and has a couple of fine blocks for a gain of 18 yards.
Molnar was the ball carrier, but a marker is down. The gain was 3 to 4 yards. Gene Gaines, the tackler. Saskatchewan was offside. 5-yard walk-off, back to the 52 of Saskatchewan. The clock is running. That's in the second quarter. Molnar was the intended pass receiver, but he was jarred as the ball arrived. Lehman and Ardern both there defending for Ottawa. It is second and 15. I'm sure fans across the country will agree, despite the handicap of a frozen, slippery field. Two teams have given us an exciting first half Grey Cup.
Kick it off! Kick it!
Lance Fletcher. Hit by Southern at the 45. But he does not have the first down. 2 yards, 2 to 3 yards away from it. Third down coming up, 1 minute and 4 seconds on the clock. Eagle Keys is going to send in his punting team. Alan Ford and Dorsch come in. He's going to go. And he underthrew number 34, Reed, and the ball goes over to Ottawa.
Number 21, Alan Ford, too, was very quickly in behind the deep secondary, but Lancaster lost his footing in that slippery part of the field out there just as he was ready to throw the football.
Just couldn't get set to throw. From the 45, 42 seconds left. Ottawa first and 10. Unable to hang on at the Saskatchewan 45. Good coverage back there for number 30, Bennett. 50-77. Wayne Shaw, number 50. The score is 14-9. Ottawa in the lead. 36 seconds remaining in the first half. Second and 10 from the 45. Incomplete. Time and time again, we've seen receivers open in this game on both sides, but just unable to make the catch. Fingers not giving their normal flexibility to these bitterly cold conditions. The temperature now is near 25 degrees cold. A strong wind gusting at times to 25 miles an hour makes the real cold a lot more meaningful. Larry DeGraw darts out at the 24-yard line to save 21 seconds of playing time in the second quarter. But traveled 49 yards. Reminder again of our Grey Cup halftime show. You'll be seeing the activities on the field here at the Autostad, plus the features and highlights of the first half, so don't go away. Bobby Thompson, no traction at the 24-yard line. 16 seconds left now. No gain. It is second and 10. Thompson is 26, of course. 76 is Lance Fletcher, playing for Jim Warden, who has a rib injury. Now 60, Wayne Smith on defense, playing in Billy Joe Booth's spot. Bobby Thompson on the final play of the first half. And at the end of the first half, the score is Ottawa 14 and Saskatchewan 9. Don Chevrier with Bernie Filoni, Frank Rigney, our entire crew at the Autostad in Montreal, getting set for the concluding 30 minutes of this 1969 very exciting Grey Cup game. I think the football has been outstanding in terms of the field, which is frozen hard, as you know by now. They've lost footing on several occasions. Cold in the fingers, hard to throw, hard to plant to throw for a quarterback, and very difficult to make catches. We've had fumbles, certainly, but overall, the football outstanding, considering all here in the very cold Sunday afternoon temperature of 25 degrees here in Montreal. Ottawa getting set to receive the second half kickoff from Saskatchewan's Jack Avonshad. Moeller and Dushinsky dropping Billy Cooper at the 31-yard line. It is 14-9. Ottawa, as we start the third quarter, And kickoff return was 23 yards by number 23, Billy Cooper. From the 31, the Eastern Roughriders' first down. Tucker breaks left, Margie Atkins right, Cossett covering Atkins. Wayne Giardino, short yardage, perhaps one, near the 32. Young man who's played both ways throughout the Eastern Final and now the Grey Cup game for the Ottawa Roughriders. And he gets arrested as Billy Cooper, 23, comes in to relieve him. Second and 9. Mencken. That's a 12-yard gain. Jackson to Menkins of the Ottawa 44. Wally Dempsey and Bill Baker combined to stop number 16. You'll see Jackson and many of the other players who come in contact with the ball have a little pouch to keep the hands warm until they actually have to get them out and use them. Giardino. Ed Dushinsky had him lined up, made first contact. At the 49-yard line, the advance is 4, second and 6 to come. Ford scored the Saskatchewan touchdown. Roberts and Stewart the Ottawa touchdowns in the first half. Baker got a piece of the ball. And it is third down, Ottawa. And Berkeley will kick to DeGraw and Cossett. Cossett playing short near the 30. Cossett back to the 35-yard line. About 2.5 minutes gone. That was the shortest punt of the game, 29 yards. And it was into the wind, favoring Saskatchewan in this third quarter. Campbell breaks wide left. Bobby Thompson has 3 yards at the 38. Lehman and Shirk the tacklers. The Prime Minister with Jake Cador on his left and Miss Grey Cup, the Saskatchewan Roughrider on the right. Caught by Ardern, but not before he picked up a Saskatchewan first down at the 48.
Well, these quarterbacks out here today, Russ Jackson and Lancaster, both are calling a very fine football game. Here, Ronnie Lancaster got the Ottawa defense in a blitz and hit the short pass.
Good fake to Reed. And Marshall Shirk knocks the ball away.
A couple of things that are limiting this Saskatchewan offense today are they're playing out without their big tight end, Jim Warden, who's probably the finest blocker they have, certainly as a receiver and a blocker, as well as Gordy Borwell, who's their deep pass receiving threat, who's out with a separated shoulder.
Second and 10. Dern at the 7-yard line.
Again, the full-blitzing defensive team of the Ottawa Roughriders was caught on a short check pattern to number 34, George Reed, and the big fullback, the outstanding player of the West, takes it down in close.
With 10:32 to play in the third quarter, the score is Ottawa 14. George Reed, on his first reception of the game, traveled 55 yards to set up Saskatchewan at the 7-yard line. First and goal to go. Ed Joyner caught Lancaster, but there's a marker back at the line of scrimmage. It was about a 5-yard line. Saskatchewan responsible for the infraction, so that loss will stand. Offside was the call, declined by Ottawa. The ball remains at the 12. Intended for Henry Dorsch, turned inside as the pass went to the flag on the corner. And it is now third down. And goal to go from the 12-yard line for Saskatchewan. Jack Abendschan sits down to change footwear. And as we mentioned in the first half, the officials allowing plenty of time to do this in view of the broomball shoes being worn by the majority of players on both sides. The kickers, in this case Abendschan, have to change at least one shoe to get the ball away for a field goal attempt. Lancaster holding at the 19-yard line. It is wide left and goes for a single point. So 4 points separate the teams now. Ottawa 14 and Saskatchewan 10. 9 minutes and 39 seconds of playing time remaining in the third quarter. Ottawa will scrimmage first down and 10 from the 25. Atkins split left, Tucker right. Ronnie Stewart has 7 yards. Upended by Henry Dorsch, number 16. Defensively, 62 is Ken Press, 61, Big Ed McWhorters, the great defensive tackle of Saskatchewan on the left side. Wally Dempsey has Wayne Giardino. Will be a gain of a yard. Third down and 2 to go. Between the 32 and the 33. 24 is Tossett and 15 DeGraw. Ottawa punter Bill Van Bricklio averaging 44 yards in his first half punting. DeGraw taken down by Dever and tempers Blair again. 37-yard kick. Referee Harry Ross right there to have a look at it.
Here comes the roughing penalty, and the referee is right there, as you say, Don. Harry Ross sees it instantly.
They march 15 yards to the 51-yard line. It's a piling on call. And Saskatchewan is first down from the Ottawa 51. Bobby Thompson caught by Marshall Shirk. The gain is 3 yards at the 48, second and 7. 7 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the third quarter. Ottawa leads 14-10. Southern defending against Alan Ford, but Ford had a great chance to bring the ball in. It slipped right through his hands, as you saw. Long throw, better than 55 yards by Ron Lancaster. Ford just ran the fly pattern straight down. Lancaster a little unhappy that didn't work out to his satisfaction. Third down and 7. 20 is Ardern, 23 is Billy Cooper back at the 5-yard line. Good kick. 20 yards deep. Ardern finally makes it official. The concession of a single point. And now 3 points separate the teams, with Ottawa leading 14-11. 6 minutes and 50 seconds until three-quarter time. That last punt traveled 69 yards. George Reed, who was contained in the first half to 28 yards rushing, and then broke loose on that little flip from Lancaster for 55 early in this quarter. A 25-yard gain for number 16, Jim Mankins, the Ottawa fullback.
Trap play up the center for Mankins, and the big fullback from Ottawa just rambles his way down, almost breaking out into the open, running over the deep halfback. The big, strong fullback.
From the Ottawa 50, first down. Wayne Giardino collects 7 yards at the Saskatchewan 53. Draw and Dempsey just ducked under a late second. Tucker breaks to the right side. Adkins far left. Giardino for the Ottawa first down. Frank Blair's shopping for halfback replacement next year may not be necessary the way Giardino has played, although it's difficult to ask a man to play 2 ways all season. He may look for a corner linebacker instead. Jackson under tremendous pressure. Caught by Ken Frith. Ed McQuarters got a good chunk of him. He got away from McQuarters and Baker before Frith made the tackle.
Take a look on split screen now. Russ Jackson makes a great fake into the line, but good pressure put on by big Ed McQuarters. Jackson's finally caught by Ken Frith.
The ball is at the 49-yard line, second down, and still 10. McQuarters has Jackson. That is the first time Saskatchewan's defensive line has been able to drop Jackson for a loss in behind that line of scrimmage. Jackson did tell me a couple of weeks ago when I asked him about the Toronto Argonaut defense, he said that Saskatchewan still gives the best defensive pressure of all. Here's Don Whitman.
If Ken Reed of Saskatchewan is operating at something less than peak efficiency, it could be because he has a broken arm. He's still in there. They put a cast on at halftime, but Sandy Archer says he has a suspected broken arm.
Jackson lost the ball. Ottawa has it. The recovery made by number 30, Danny Dever.
Dodger just can't hold on to the ball. It's very hard with those cold fingers that we talked, and he's hit just as he's trying to recover. Danny Dever, number 30, recovers for Ottawa. Big break for the Ottawa Roughriders at this point in the game.
The ball is at the 27-yard line. Jim Hankins for 15 yards down to the 12. Wally Dempsey, number 77, made the Saskatchewan tackle. With 3 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the third quarter, the score is Ottawa 14 and Saskatchewan 11. It is first down for the Ottawa Roughriders at the 12 of Saskatchewan. Jackson made to get away from McQuarters and Shaw, who had him zeroed in behind the line of scrimmage.
He sure did. He was, as you say, Don, zeroed in. He was really almost tackled there. They had him by the shirt. He squirmed away and found Mencken and threw the ball perfectly for that touchdown.
Here now is the extra point attempt by 14, Don Sutherland. We'll see it come right at you. Dead center.
Here's that touchdown play, and Jackson, on a sprint out to the right, is bottled up, and he looks like he's just about going nowhere. McQuarters has him. He gets away from McQuarters, and there's the touchdown to Mencken.
Line play. That makes it 21 to 11, 2:43 until three-quarter time. Teams 10 points apart. Ottawa on the heavy end. A kickoff from Sutherland. George Reed brings it back to the 41-yard line. Harry Black, number 25, is the tackler. 43-yard kickoff and 19-yard return.
Son, when you have two great football clubs like this, how quick a game can change. Only a few moments ago, Ronnie Lancaster throws a 57-yard pass to Alan Ford in the end zone. It looks like a sure Saskatchewan touchdown. Ford dropped it. Ottawa Roughriders turned that break right around, came back on a 75-yard march to go ahead by 10 points.
Lancaster with a first down play. Bobby Thompson at the Ottawa 46. Both Poirier and Barry Ardern brought him down. The gain is 23 yards.
Bobby Thompson and Huey Campbell were the leading receivers for Saskatchewan this season. They each got 45 during regular season play. They haven't gotten to him too much in this game.
Thompson in the open field could not make the reception. We have a minute and 43 seconds left in the third quarter. Ottawa leads 21-11.
Coach Frank Clare of the Ottawa Roughriders, who has amassed in 18 seasons as a head coach 171 wins, 124 losses, and 7 ties.
Ardern, and it's incomplete. And still, Mr. Ardern made a great move.
Split screen, we see two of the Saskatchewan receivers, Alan Ford and Campbell. Ford goes down, turns to the outside for an excellent defensive play by the Ottawa Roughriders.
Now on third down, Ford will kick to Cooper and Ardern. Barry Ardern. The bystander taken down pretty heavily. Hunt was 40 yards. Turn was 8, and from the 15 now, it is first down for the Eastern champion Roughriders, who have that 10-point lead, 21-11, with a minute and 3 seconds to go on the quarter. Russ Jackson in what he says will be his final game of professional football in Canada. Wayne Giardino has 2 yards near the 17.
On our isolated camera, watch number 77, Big Wally Dempsey. He closes off that play and shows you why he's one of the all-Canadian linebackers for 1969.
Second and 8. Bruce Bennett tipped away the pass. It's headed for Whitsucker. And at the end of the third quarter, the score is Ottawa 21 and Saskatchewan 11. We'll return with the fourth quarter action in a moment. We're told from the sideline, the Saskatchewan club doctor indicates it's almost certain now that Ken Reed does have a hairline fracture of the arm. This is reminiscent of the time his coach, Eagle Keys, played a Grey Cup game with what turned out to be a broken bone in the leg. They found out much later exactly what it was. That was in 1954, the year that Jackie Parker recovered the Hunsinger fumble for the winning touchdown for Edmonton. I think Bernie was there. Cossett taken down by Dever at the 48.5-yard line. Saskatchewan will start out offensively. Inside Ottawa's half of the field. Ball put down at the 49, a 37-yard punt, and an 8-yard return. At three-quarter time, and total offense Saskatchewan at 235 yards against 307 for the Ottawa Roughriders. the tackle on Lance Fletcher at the 44. The advance will be 5. For Lancaster now, that is his 10th completion in 21 attempts this afternoon. Jackson is 9 for 16. Saskatchewan has rushed for 58 yards, and Ottawa 139. Joe Booth indicating that ball was fumbled, and it was. It goes over to the Ottawa Roughriders.
Isolation on our quarterback, Ron Lancaster. We see him dropping back here under great pressure. The Eastern representative, the outstanding lineman of the year, Billy Joe Booth, and his teammates pile on Lancaster and cause that fumble.
Ed Joyner made the recovery. And from the 52, their own, it is Ottawa, first down. Jim Mankins indicates that he's a difficult runner to bring down. Ken Frith and Bruce Bennett finally made the Saskatchewan tackle, but Mankins picked up the first down. Atkins, 73, sent for the right side. Stewart in the slot left. Tucker wide left. Number 76, the tight end, Jay Roberts, with the reception. And it's another Ottawa first down. Empey and Shaw, the tacklers. The advance was 14 yards to the 33. 21-11. Ottawa leads. 12 minutes and 10 seconds to play in the game. DeGraw forcing Wayne Giardino out of bounds at the 32-yard line. The game will be negligible. Wayne has about the dirtiest jersey on the field today. The field has been thawing ever so gradually throughout the afternoon. Cooper comes in for Giardino. Cliff and Wayne Shaw interchange now defensively for Saskatchewan.
Asking him about retirement plans next year, and he says, you know, the press people have been retiring me for the last 5 years. I don't think I'm going to quit. I don't certainly should.
Can't be thinking of it right now, Ernie. Southern with a point after a 10. Good. With 11:38 to play in the fourth quarter, the score is now Ottawa 28, Saskatchewan 11. Eastern Riders get lined up for the kickoff. Don Southern, number 14. Alan Ford. Ford was taken down by Jerry Campbell across the 30-yard line at the 32.
Let's look at that touchdown play. It was a blitz and two old pros, Jackson and Stewart. Stewart sees that linebacker come and just jumps in behind him. Gets a good block downfield from 26 with Tucker and runs into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, over the years, Russ Jackson has used Ronnie Stewart as an escape hatch on many occasions in tight situations. Against Toronto last week, a similar last-minute throw for the touchdown. George Reed has 3 yards at the 35. Billy Joe Booth and Marshall Shirk combined to make the tackle. The time remaining in the 1969 Grey Cup game is a little over 11 minutes, and the Ottawa Roughriders lead their counterparts from Saskatchewan 28-11. Allen Ford with a first down reception at the 51-yard line of Saskatchewan. Barry Ardern chased him out of bounds. Well, some people are happier than others here this afternoon, depending on which team you're backing in this game. Mixture of smiles and frowns. It didn't take long for Don Southern to arrive on the scene after Huey Campbell had taken the ball in. That is a 6-yard gain to the Ottawa 53, 2nd and 4.
On split screen, we see Campbell moving in, taking that quick pass, but Don Sutherland has been doing a good job all afternoon covering Campbell. Is right there to limit the game.
Campbell again, stopped by Gaines. This time it is a first down at the 44 of Ottawa. 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Molnar left and Campbell wide right. Bobby Thompson knocked away by number 15, Bill Van Berkeley. For Bobby Thompson, it's been a frustrating day trying to bring in some of those Ron Lancaster passes. His best chance, of course, was early in the game in the first quarter. He was in the clear, but couldn't hang on to the ball. That time, it was a great defensive play by Van Berkeley that took the reception away. Rankin now comes into play for Ford. And Lancaster is down at midfield. Billy Joe Booth, 65. Ed Joyner, 63. The two defensive ends crisscrossing in to make the tackle. The loss will be 11 yards. It is now third down. That is one of the 10 cameras, this one mounted on the scoreboard of the Autostat. The 10 cameras bringing you the picture story of this 1969 Grey Cup game. Seaman was the first of half a dozen Saskatchewan players to get to Billy Cooper. One of scrimmage will be the 23-yard line. 33-yard punt. 8 minutes and 48 seconds left now. Jim Bankins at the 25-yard line is met by Don Vanook, number 60. 3-yard gain, it'll be second down and 7 to come. Henry Dorsch, number 16. The draw is 15. 58 is Reed, and throwing that pass. Suspected broken arm suffered in the first half. Ronnie Stewart. Henry Dorsch, the tackler, little or no gain near the 25-yard line. And Ottawa's punting team comes in. .7:43 on the unofficial master scoreboard clock. 28-11 is the score, with the Ottawa Roughriders enjoying that 17-point advantage. Long punt to the draw. Danny Dever and Roger Perdrix, the tacklers at the 41-yard line of Saskatchewan. And the Western Riders start out there first and 10 after Van Berkeley's 51-yard punt. Stopped by Gaines and Giardino. It is a first down.
Bowler number 19 on the end of this reception from Lancaster finds an open spot down in the curl-in zone, but can't go anywhere with it after he catches the football. He's tackled almost immediately.
Jerry Campbell going by got enough of Ron Lancaster to knock him off balance. And Ed Joyner followed in with the tackle. It is a low and loss for the Saskatchewan Roughriders back to their own 52-yard line. 11 yards, the loss on the play. They are second at 21 to go now, with 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Billy Joe Booth limping off of the Ottawa bench, replaced by number 60, Wayne Smith. Canadian rookie with the Riders. Second down. Bobby Thompson. Jerry Campbell, a hard driving tackle on Thompson, who was fighting for footing at the 50-yard line.
We're taking a look here at Jerry Campbell, the outside linebacker of the Ottawa Roughriders. That's what's called a really good shot on that pass reception.
Eagle Keys of Saskatchewan obviously is not quite too happy about everything, but in 10 seasons he has 105 victories, 73 losses.
Billy Cooper on the punt return. Real headhunting out there, and they dropped Cooper at the 17-yard line. Lays it up to 23 after a 39-yard punt. Cooper lost 3 yards on the return. So 5 minutes and 22 seconds separate the Ottawa Roughriders from a Grey Cup victory, and for Russ Jackson, a storybook finish to a 12-year career. Jim Mankins at the 22-yard line collects 4. Baker, the last man up. Second down and 6 to come.
Come on, you defense! Let's go! Split! Split!
Cooper broke the first tackle, then number 50, Wayne Shaw. Dropped him at the 26-yard line. That is well short of their first down objective. Berkeley and the punting team come in with now 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. Ottawa 28, Saskatchewan 11. Just away from Baker. A passage met by Dave Bragan, number 55. So with 3:47 left now, Saskatchewan starts out first down at the 42. And Berkeley's punt traveled 49 yards. Fletcher made a great move on that. He was overthrown by a good 3 yards, which enough to prevent Ken Lehman from intercepting the ball. Lehman stationed just behind him had a great chance to bring it in. Had the Saskatchewan player not been able to get a hand on it. But it's second down now, it's still 10 at the 42. The interception against Huey Campbell at the 45-yard line.
Again, we see two of the fellows have been battling each other all afternoon. Huey Campbell, number 31, calling for his quarterback to throw him that ball. He's underthrown, and Don Sutherland picks off his interception.
That, Frank, is the first interception on either side of this Grey Cup game. It gives Ottawa a chance to exercise some ball control with a lead of 28-11 and just over 3 minutes remaining at the 45-yard line. Wayne Giardino has 6 yards at the 51. With 2:55 to play in the fourth quarter, the score is Ottawa 28 and Saskatchewan 11.
As Football Commissioner Jake Gadar said not too long ago, this game will have the greatest security ever. And you can see Montreal's finest lining the Autostad.
Second down and 4 to come from the 51-yard line for the Ottawa Roughriders as Jackson brings them out. Jim Mankins fights for and has the first down. Bill Baker, number 65, with the tackle.
Very soon now, the voting will have to be polled for the outstanding player of the 1969 Grey Cup, and what a tough decision it's going to be. Under Russ Jackson's leadership, and Ronnie Stewart's 2 big touchdowns, and the fellow you just saw run that last play, Jim Mankins, who's been a real thorn in the Saskatchewan Roughriders side all afternoon.
First down at the 54. Wayne Giardino ran a long way to gain a yard. Wally Dempsey riding him down at the 52-yard line. At the 53. Second and 9. Just over 2 minutes remaining now. Ottawa 28, Saskatchewan 11. Ottawa, of course, will take all the time the rules allow to get each play underway. Stewart down to the 30-yard line. Chuck Kyle was offside for Saskatchewan. That has been declined by Ottawa.
Well, another fellow that they say is ending his 12-year career, and what a great one it's been, little Ronnie Stewart. He's gotten by that whole 12 years with effort just like that.
23-yard gain from the 30, first and 10. Held by the faces. Saskatchewan fans from the Ottawa fans at this point. 1:25 to play. Jim Mankins with a 3-yard advance to the 27. A minute and 12 seconds left. Now a chance for some of the Ottawa bench strength here in the Grey Cup game. Terry Black and Frank Constant come in offensively as Frank Clare finally makes changes. Secure that he has a Grey Cup victory just about under wraps. Jackson gets the rest, and Van Berkeley is now the Ottawa quarterback. Tom Pullen playing for Jay Roberts. Changes all around in that lineup. But the man who's worked hardest of all today, both ways, Wayne Giardino, was the ball carrier on that last play. It's 3rd down and 6 to go from the 26-yard line. Less than a minute remaining now. 54 seconds on the clock. Southern takes a moment to tie up his shoe for a field goal attempt. A very happy Rough Rider bench. This is what it's all about. The Grey Cup. The attempt will come from the 33-yard line, angle right. Wide to the right side. And Bob Thompson yields a single point. We have 26 seconds left. And it's Ottawa 29, Saskatchewan 11. We invite you to stay with us for the reaction of the winning and losing teams from the dressing room with Don Whitman and Tom McGee right after the final gun. The West's outstanding player, George Reed, for a gain of 9 yards near the 35. Prime Minister makes his way to the sidelines for the formal Grey Cup presentation. This could be the last play of the Grey Cup game. And it's all over. The Ottawa Roughriders have retained the Grey Cup for the 2nd consecutive year, defeating the Saskatchewan Roughriders 29-11. 33,000 here at the Autostad in Montreal. And there you see the very happy reaction to the victory of the Ottawa players and their head coach, Frank Clare. Well, here's the Grey Cup presentation to Russ Jackson, the quarterback who runs it all in storybook style, winning a Grey Cup in his final game, his final season out of 12 in the Canadian Football League. Presentation made by Canada's Prime Minister, Pierre Elliott Trudeau. You can just tell by that excellent close-up shot of Russ Jackson how he feels at this very important moment in his football career.
And he's going to feel a lot happier, Don, because we have an unofficial report here that he has won the award as the top player in the Grey Cup game with a total of 103 votes to 93 for Ronnie Stewart. So he'll pick up an automobile. He's the Shenley Award winner, of course, the outstanding player in Canada, who won a finish to a great career for a quarterback such as Russ Jackson, and the CFL will certainly miss him.
He will not have to walk home. That's a very difficult choice to make. Ronnie Stewart, outstanding. He, too, a veteran of the same tenure as Jackson in the CFL with the Ottawa Roughriders. Jackson, a man who quarterback engineered many of those plays. And Ronnie Stewart capping off two of them for Ottawa touchdowns in most spectacular fashion here this afternoon.
What a crowd.
I guess if they had two cars, it might be the answer in this situation, Vinny.
Well, we're getting some more Ottawa fans and players back on. Jackson, of course, making another run with a trophy. The photographers standing by, waiting to get these pictures that will go down in Grey Cup history. And I'm sure in the Hall of Fame, this will be one of the main pictures.